You aren't born to stay broken. You were built to rebuild, stronger, wiser, focused. This isn't a comeback. This is your rise. Welcome to Rebuild Yourself. Let your focus be on you every day. It all starts now.
Introduction. The power of rebuilding from within. Let's be honest. Life breaks all of us at some point. It could be a sudden loss, a failed relationship, a career that didn't go as planned. Or maybe it's not one big blow, but a slow erosion. Little moments where you feel like you're fading into the background, losing parts of yourself, forgetting who you are. And then one day you realize something has to change. That moment right there is the beginning of your rebuild. In today's world where everything moves at lightning speed, where we're told to hustle harder, achieve more, and stay constantly connected, it's easy to forget the most important connection of all, the one with yourself. That's why rebuilding yourself is no longer optional. It's essential. You cannot thrive in this noisy, demanding world unless you know who you are beneath it all. Unless you are grounded, reconnected, focused. And that's what this audiobook is all about. This is not a motivational pep talk that fades in a few hours. This is not a temporary fix or a band-aid for deeper wounds. This is a blueprint, a daily invitation, a powerful reminder. What does it mean to let your focus be on you? It means taking your energy back from everything that drains it. It means making space for silence so you can actually hear your own thoughts. It means finally realizing that no one else is responsible for your healing, your growth, or your peace. It's not selfish. It's survival. Because when your focus is on everything and everyone else, you disappear. But when you bring that focus inward, everything changes. You begin to notice your habits, your patterns, your needs, your triggers. You start to take responsibility, not just for your actions, but for your healing. You become the main character in your own life again. And that's not a metaphor. That's real. That's powerful. That's possible. The myth of overnight transformation. Let's break a common lie we've been sold. You are not going to wake up tomorrow and suddenly be a whole new person. Transformation doesn't happen in an instant. It happens in the tiny, unseen moments. It happens when you choose to get up even though you're tired. When you say no, even though it's hard. When you show up for yourself on days when no one else does. Real change is slow, quiet, sometimes even boring. But that's what makes it real. That's what makes it last. Social media shows us the glow-ups, the big wins, the after photos. But no one shows you the messy middle. The part where you feel lost, tired, alone. This audiobook is about that part. It's about walking with you through the middle and giving you the tools to keep going every single day. Why daily self-focus leads to lasting growth. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do something every day. That's the secret. A little focus every day adds up to massive change. You don't build a strong, unshakable life by waiting for motivation to show up. You build it by showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. You meditate for 5 minutes instead of scrolling endlessly. You journal your thoughts instead of bottling them up. You drink water. You take walks. You breathe deeply. You speak kindly to yourself, even if it feels awkward at first. And slowly, those small things become your new normal. You rebuild, bit by bit, until one day you look back and realize you're not the same person anymore. You're stronger, clearer, wiser. You're you, but upgraded. That's the power of daily self-focus. It doesn't just change your habits, it rewires your entire identity. A personal note from me to you. Before we begin this journey together, I want you to know something. You don't need to be fixed. You're not broken beyond repair. You are in progress. That means everything you've been through still counts. Every scar, every setback, every tear, it all brought you here. And here is a powerful place to be. Because from here, you get to choose. You get to rebuild on your terms. You get to stop living by default and start living with intention. And I'll be here, in your ear, walking beside you every step of the way. Some days will feel heavy. That's okay. Some chapters might hit too close to home. That's okay too. Because you're not alone anymore. This audiobook isn't just words. It's a mirror, a guide, a companion. So take a deep breath. Let go of everything you think you should be, and get ready to become everything you were meant to be. It starts now. Let your focus be on you every day.
Chapter 1. Broken doesn't mean defeated. Let's talk about a word that many of us carry like a secret. Broken. It's a heavy word, quiet but loud in the mind. It's the word we use when we feel shattered, when life has cracked something inside us that doesn't seem fixable. But here's what no one tells you. Broken doesn't mean defeated. Just because you've been knocked down doesn't mean you've lost. Just because something inside you feels bruised or bent out of shape doesn't mean it can't be rebuilt. Being broken is not a life sentence. It's a chapter. And you're still writing the story. What does broken really mean? When people say they feel broken, what they usually mean is this. They feel unseen, unheard, unworthy. They've carried too much pain for too long. They've trusted people who let them down. They've given parts of themselves to situations that gave nothing back. Broken isn't just about what happened. It's about how those experiences made you feel about yourself. It's the voice in your head that says, "You're not enough." It's the silence you sit in when no one checks in. It's the shame you carry from decisions you regret. But here's the truth. Feeling broken doesn't mean you are broken. It means you've been human. And being human is messy, emotional, imperfect. Beautiful. It means you've lived through things that left marks. And those marks, those scars, are not signs of weakness. They're signs of survival. You made it here. You're listening to this right now. That says everything. Accepting your past without letting it define you. You've been through things. That's real. We're not here to minimize your pain or pretend it didn't happen. This chapter isn't about erasing the past. It's about learning how to stop letting it control your present. Because your past is not your identity. What happened to you does not define what's inside you. You might have grown up without love. You might have been abandoned, abused, or misunderstood. You might have lost everything. And that pain, it matters. It shaped you, but it didn't own you. You were allowed to accept what happened while still choosing a different path forward.
You are allowed to say, yes, that hurt me, but it doesn't get to hold me forever. You are allowed to say, I am more than my past. There's power in facing your story without becoming a prisoner to it. There's power in saying, that was me then, this is me now, and I get to decide who I become next. Emotional wounds as the birthplace of transformation. You might not believe it yet, but your pain can be the beginning of your power. Every emotional wound is a message, a signal that something inside you is asking to be seen, heard, healed. That heartbreak, it showed you what love isn't. That betrayal, it taught you the value of trust. That failure, it revealed the strength it takes to try again. We don't grow when everything is easy. We grow when we're challenged, when we're forced to dig deep, when we find strength we didn't even know we had. Think of a bone that breaks. Once it heals, that spot becomes stronger than before. It's the same with your spirit. The parts of you that have been broken open are now the parts that have room to expand, to rise, to transform. Pain doesn't have to be your prison. It can be your portal, the place where you begin again, on your terms, in your power, for your future. Why self-compassion is the first step to rebuilding. You can't rebuild what you keep rejecting. Too often we try to change ourselves with criticism. We think if we're hard enough on ourselves, we'll finally get it right. But change doesn't grow in shame. It grows in compassion. Self-compassion means speaking to yourself like someone you care about. It means looking at your mess, your regrets, your flaws, and saying, I see you, and I'm still here for you. It means understanding that healing takes time, that some days you'll take 2 steps forward, and other days you'll fall back. And that's okay. Because rebuilding is not a straight line. It's a spiral. You come back to the same places with more strength, more wisdom, more clarity. Self-compassion doesn't mean letting yourself off the hook. It means holding yourself with care while you grow. It's saying, yes, I have work to do, but I still deserve kindness while I do it. So before we go any further in this journey, I want you to take a breath. Right now. In, out, and say this to yourself, quietly or out loud. I am not broken. I am healing. I am not defeated. I am rebuilding, one day at a time. Because that's what this process is. Not a race, not a performance, but a return to you. Final thoughts for Chapter 1. If you've been carrying the weight of your past, if you've looked in the mirror and seen nothing but damage, if you've questioned whether you're even worth the effort, it's time to stop. You are not just worth it. You are needed. Your voice, your growth, your story. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs a real one, a healed one, a powerful one. And that version begins here. So let's keep going. In the next chapter, we'll begin the work of self-awareness. Because if you're going to rebuild, you need a blueprint. You need to know what's there, what needs to go, and what's ready to grow. But for now, remember this. Broken is a beginning, not an end.
Chapter 2. Self-awareness is the blueprint. You cannot rebuild what you don't understand. It's like trying to renovate a house in the dark. You trip, you guess, you patch things up blindly, and then wonder why everything keeps falling apart. That's why before any real change can happen, you need a flashlight. A clear, honest look at what's going on inside you. That flashlight is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the blueprint. It shows you where the cracks are, where the walls are weak,
and where your foundation is still solid. It's the moment you stop reacting out of habit and start responding with intention. Looking inward with honesty. Self-awareness starts with a simple decision. The decision to stop running. Running from your past, from your flaws, from the truth about who you've become while you were busy surviving. Looking inward doesn't mean judging yourself, it means meeting yourself. It means pausing long enough to ask the tough questions. What am I really feeling right now? Why did I react that way? Is this thought even true, or just something I've carried for too long? Most people never do this. They live on autopilot. They avoid mirrors, emotional ones especially. But not you, not anymore. Honesty isn't always comfortable. In fact, it rarely is, but it is powerful. Because when you finally admit to yourself, "I'm not okay," you create space for something new. You stop pretending. You start healing. You stop blaming. You start owning. That's where transformation begins, not with control, but with clarity. Journaling, reflection, and asking better questions. Let's get practical. Self-awareness isn't just a mindset, it's a practice. And one of the most powerful tools for that practice is journaling. Now, don't overthink it. You don't need to write a novel. You don't need fancy journals or poetic words. You just need truth. Try starting with simple questions. What am I avoiding right now? What am I feeling and why? What patterns do I keep repeating? What part of me still needs to be heard? The goal is not to fix yourself in one sitting. The goal is to notice. Notice what triggers you, what inspires you, what drains you. Every day, take 5 minutes to check in with yourself. No filters, no judgment. You'll be amazed at what comes up. You'll discover thoughts you didn't know were running your life. You'll uncover beliefs that don't even belong to you. Beliefs picked up from childhood, relationships, or society. Journaling turns the unconscious into the conscious, and once something is conscious, you can change it. Awareness stops the repetition. Here's something you've probably lived through. Repeating the same mistake over and over, even when you swore you wouldn't. Same type of relationship, same emotional reaction, same result. It's frustrating. It feels like failure. But it's not failure. It's a lack of awareness. Until you see the pattern, you repeat the pattern. And here's why. The brain craves familiarity. Even if something is painful, if it's familiar, it feels safe. Self-awareness breaks that loop. When you start noticing your emotional habits, the ways you shut down, lash out, overthink, or numb out, you start gaining power. Not power over others, power over yourself. You can pause, breathe, choose differently. You can ask yourself, is this the version of me I want to keep being? And that question alone can shift your entire day, your week, your life. You don't break patterns through willpower, you break them through awareness. You start showing up as a new version of you because you finally see the old one clearly. Turning self-criticism into self-clarity. Let's be real. Most of us are our own worst critics. We replay mistakes. We shame ourselves for emotions. We expect perfection and punish ourselves when we fall short. But here's the truth. Self-criticism doesn't lead to growth. It leads to paralysis. When your inner voice is constantly attacking you, you don't evolve. You shrink. That's why part of self-awareness is learning to shift that voice. Instead of saying, "I messed up again," try saying, "What does this moment want to teach me?" Instead of, "I'm too emotional," say, "My feelings are showing me something important." Instead of, I'm a failure. Ask, what wasn't working and what can I try next time? This isn't about lying to yourself, it's about leading yourself. Self-clarity doesn't deny your flaws, it just refuses to weaponize them. It says, yes, I have work to do, but I'm worth doing the work for. That shift changes everything. You stop fighting yourself and start rebuilding yourself. You become your own coach, your own guide, your own source of insight. That's the kind of relationship that changes lives. Final thoughts for Chapter 2. Self-awareness is not always fun. It's not always pretty. But it is always worth it. Because when you learn to sit with yourself, to observe your patterns, to tell yourself the truth, you stop living by accident. You begin to rebuild your life with intention. You become the architect, the builder, the owner of your identity. So tonight, or tomorrow morning, open a blank page. Write one sentence, one feeling, one realization. Start the conversation with yourself. It might feel awkward at first, but keep going. Because awareness is the blueprint, and without it, everything else is just guesswork. In the next chapter, we'll explore the power of detachment, how to let go of the things, people, habits, and mindsets that no longer serve you. Because once you see yourself clearly, the next step is making space for who you're becoming.
Chapter 3. Detach to reconnect. There comes a moment in every transformation journey when you have to ask yourself a difficult question. What am I still holding on to that's actually holding me back? It could be a toxic relationship, a self-destructive habit, a belief you picked up long ago that tells you you're not good enough. It could even be a version of you that's outdated, but familiar. This chapter is about learning to let go. Not just for the sake of peace, but to make room for something better, for something more aligned, for the next version of you that's waiting underneath all the weight you no longer need. Detachment isn't about caring less. It's about choosing to care more about what really matters. Releasing what no longer serves you. Let's begin here. Not everything you carry is meant to be carried forever. Some things were only meant for a season. Some people only had a role in a chapter, not the whole book. And some mindsets, some ways of thinking were only meant to help you survive, not to help you thrive. But we get attached. We hold on out of habit, out of fear, out of hope. We keep certain friendships because of the years. We keep certain habits because they feel safe. We keep certain thoughts because they're familiar, even if they hurt. But if you want to rebuild, you have to ask, is this thing, this person, this habit, this belief still serving me, or is it keeping me small? You cannot evolve if you're clinging to what you've outgrown. Releasing doesn't always feel good, but it is always necessary. You let go of the version of you that needed chaos to feel alive. You let go of the need to please everyone. You let go of the story that says you're not worthy of better. Detachment is a form of love. It's choosing yourself, your growth, your peace. Learning the art of saying no. One of the most powerful forms of self-respect is this one small word, no. Not maybe, not I'll think about it, not okay, just this once. No. No to the friend who only calls when they need something. No to the event that drains your energy. No to the voice in your head that tells you you're behind in life. Saying no isn't rejection. It's redirection.
It's how you protect your time, your mental space, your energy. Because here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to yourself. Think about that. Saying yes to what you don't want means saying no to what you do. So learn to pause. Check in with yourself. Ask, does this align with who I'm becoming? If it doesn't, walk away. Not with guilt, but with gratitude. Because now you're not just reacting, you're choosing. That's where freedom lives. Creating space for the new by clearing out the old. Imagine you walk into a room full of clutter. Boxes stacked high, dust everywhere, old furniture you don't even use anymore. Now imagine trying to redecorate that room without moving a single thing. You can't. There's no space. That's exactly what happens in our inner lives. We try to grow, to evolve, to move on, but we haven't cleared anything out. We're still emotionally cluttered, still holding on to guilt, resentment, outdated relationships, and unhealed wounds. Clearing space is not just about what you physically remove. It's about the energetic space you create. Maybe that means finally deleting the number you keep calling when you feel lonely. Maybe it means uninstalling the app that makes you feel like you're not enough. Maybe it means taking a weekend off from everything to reset your nervous system and just breathe. The more you release, the more you return to you. Because all that old stuff, it was crowding your mind, distracting your heart, blocking your clarity. Clearing space isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's the quiet before the new arrives. How letting go leads to deeper self-connection. Here's something most people don't realize. Letting go isn't just about losing something. It's about finding yourself underneath what you were never meant to carry. You reconnect to your needs. You reconnect to your peace. You reconnect to your intuition, the inner voice that was buried under noise. When you stop pouring energy into things that drain you, you finally have energy to invest in things that build you. Your creativity returns. Your confidence begins to grow again. Your nervous system calms down. Your choices become clearer. You realize I was never the problem. I was just surrounded by the wrong people, the wrong pressures, the wrong patterns. And now that you've let go, you can breathe. You can be. That's the beauty of detachment. It doesn't make you cold, it makes you clear. You no longer chase things that aren't aligned. You no longer fight to keep things that don't feel right. You trust that anything you let go of, if it was meant to stay, it would have stayed. You come back to yourself, fully, gently, powerfully. Final thoughts for Chapter 3. Detachment is not about isolation. It's not about building walls around your heart. It's about removing the weight that's been keeping your heart heavy. You were never meant to hold on to everything. Some things were meant to teach you, then leave you. And that's okay. You are not defined by what you let go of. You are defined by what you make space for. And now you're creating space for peace, for purpose, for the next version of you. In the next chapter, we'll talk about focus, how to protect your attention, how to concentrate your energy, and how to make your focus your superpower in a world full of distractions. But for now, take a breath. You're already lighter. You're already freer. You're already reconnecting to the real you. And that's what this journey is all about.
Chapter 4. Focus is your superpower. We live in a world that wants your attention. Your phone wants it. Social media wants it. Advertisers want it.
Even your past wants it. And if you're not careful, your attention becomes scattered, stretched thin, spent on things that don't build you, but break you slowly. That's why in this chapter, we're going to talk about focus. Because focus is not just about productivity, it's about power. Focus is the ability to take control of your mind and direct it like a laser. And when you learn how to do that, you become unstoppable. You stop reacting. You start creating. You stop drifting. You start deciding. You stop wasting energy and start using it to build the life you actually want. Focus is not just a skill. It's a superpower. And it's one you can build day by day. Understanding the power of focused attention. Let's begin with a simple truth. What you focus on grows. Focus is like water. Whatever you pour it on gets stronger. If you constantly focus on fear, fear gets louder. If you constantly focus on doubt, doubt takes over. But if you start focusing on growth, healing, purpose, those things begin to grow too. Your attention is your most valuable currency. It's not your money, not your time. It's what you choose to give your mental energy to. And here's the catch. You're always focusing on something. So the real question isn't whether you're focused, it's what you're focused on. Because whatever holds your focus shapes your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions create your reality. Shift your focus, shift your life. Daily strategies to build unshakable concentration. You don't need to be born with laser focus. You can train it. Here are a few strategies to help you build real daily concentration. No fluff, no hype. 1. Start with intention. Before you begin any task, ask yourself, what do I want to give my full energy to today? Write it down. Say it out loud. Remind your brain what actually matters. Focus is like a compass. You need to set the direction or you'll wander all day. 2. Use the 90-20 rule. Work for 90 minutes with deep focus, then break for 20. Your brain can go deep, but not forever. Use your energy in cycles, not marathons. During your 90 minutes, eliminate all interruptions. No scrolling, no mindless multitasking. Just one thing, fully. 3. Create a focus ritual. Every day, have a ritual that signals it's time to lock in. Light a candle. Put on lo-fi music. Set a timer. Close unnecessary tabs. Do it consistently. Your brain will begin to associate that ritual with deep work. 4. Declutter your space. Mental focus starts with a physical environment. If your workspace is chaotic, your thoughts will be too. Tidy up, clear distractions, keep only what supports your intention. 5. Protect your first hour. The first hour of your day sets the tone. Don't check your phone. Don't dive into emails. Don't consume other people's noise. Use that time for silence, clarity, reflection, or creative work. That hour is your golden hour. Guard it like it matters, because it does. Eliminating distractions and mental clutter. Distraction is not just about noise around you. It's also about noise within you. Mental clutter builds up when you don't clear your thoughts, when you don't process your emotions, when you carry unfinished conversations in your head like open tabs. Start closing those mental tabs. Write down your worries. Talk through what's bothering you. Forgive what's weighing you down. Clarity is not just about removing your phone. It's about removing what your mind keeps looping on. Ask yourself, what's constantly pulling me away from the moment? What do I need to release to get my focus back? then deal with it, bit by bit. Sometimes that means setting boundaries with people who steal your time. Sometimes it means simplifying your life, less commitments, more purpose. Distraction is a form of avoidance, but focus, that's a form of freedom. Why focus creates freedom? At first, focus can feel limiting. You say no to things, you cut distractions, you put structure in place. But what most people don't realize is that discipline is the doorway to freedom. When you control your focus, you control your energy. You get things done faster, better, with more meaning. You stop wasting your life on things that don't matter and start building a life that does. Focus frees you from chaos, from confusion, from being pulled in 100 directions. It anchors you, grounds you, empowers you. Because now, you're not just existing, you're creating. And that's the kind of life worth living. Final thoughts for Chapter 4. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, with your full attention. It's about showing up to your own life, fully present, fully intentional. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be productive every second, but you do need to learn how to focus on what actually builds you. So today, choose one thing, one goal, one habit, one thought, and give it your full attention. Because when you learn to focus, you learn to rebuild your reality, one moment at a time. In the next chapter, we'll explore the power of daily discipline, not just in your actions, but in your mindset and your routines. Because discipline is not punishment, it's how you keep showing up for yourself, even when no one's watching. And that's where transformation really takes root.
Chapter 5. The Daily Discipline of You. Discipline. It's not a word that gets people excited. For many, it feels like pressure, restriction, punishment. But here's the truth. Discipline is freedom in disguise. It's not about perfection. It's not about being hard on yourself. Discipline is love in action. It's how you show up for yourself every single day. It's how you turn intention into identity. It's how you go from dreaming about a better life to actually building one. And if you truly want to rebuild yourself, you need daily discipline. Not once in a while, not when it's convenient, but as a way of being. Building rituals that reinforce self-focus. Discipline doesn't start with goals. It starts with rituals. A ritual is a routine infused with purpose. It's not just something you do, it's something you commit to because of what it means to you. It says, I care about myself enough to show up even when no one's watching. So ask yourself, what actions keep me grounded? What practices connect me to my vision? What habits remind me of who I want to become? Then, build rituals around those answers. Maybe it's 10 minutes of stillness every morning. Maybe it's journaling before bed. Maybe it's drinking water before coffee. Maybe it's putting your phone away for 1 hour a day to reconnect with your thoughts. These may seem small, but they're not. They're how you anchor yourself in a world full of noise. Rituals create rhythm. Rhythm creates consistency, and consistency is how you rebuild anything, especially yourself. The power of morning and evening routines. Let's talk about the two most powerful moments in your day, the beginning and the end. Your morning routine sets the tone. Your evening routine sets the pace. Most people start their day in a rush. Snooze button, notifications, stress. Then they end their day with distraction. TV, scrolling, overstimulation, and then they wonder why they feel disconnected, lost, exhausted. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need structure. Try this. In the morning, wake up and breathe. Before checking your phone, check in with yourself. Say a simple intention aloud. Today, I choose clarity. Or, today, I stay rooted in me. Move your body. Hydrate. Stretch. Something, anything that tells your mind we're awake and in control. At night, reflect on the day. What did you learn? What can you release? Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Disconnect from devices 30 minutes before sleep. Do something calming. Read, breathe, pray, listen to soft music. These routines aren't just productivity hacks. They're sacred boundaries. They are the emotional bookends of your day, and they quietly shape your life. Accountability without shame. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. What happens when you don't stick to your discipline? What happens when you skip a day, miss a workout, break your promise to yourself? Here's what most people do. They spiral into shame. They say things like, I always mess up. I'll never be consistent. What's the point of trying? But shame doesn't create change. It creates avoidance. Accountability, on the other hand, creates ownership. The voice of accountability says, yes, I slipped, but I'm still worthy of progress. Yes, I broke my rhythm, but I can start again today. Every day is a chance to return to yourself, not to punish, but to practice. You are not your mistakes. You are your commitment to keep showing up. So drop the guilt, pick up grace, hold yourself accountable, but do it with kindness. That's the discipline that actually lasts. How small daily acts shape identity. You don't become confident overnight. You don't become healed, peaceful, or focused because of one big breakthrough. You become those things by showing up every day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Every time you follow through on your routine, you cast a vote for the person you want to be. Every time you get out of bed and honor your morning ritual, you tell yourself, I'm reliable, I'm consistent, I'm building. It's not just about habits, it's about identity. Because the more you act like the future version of you, the more you become them. If you want to be strong, practice strength, even in small ways. If you want to be disciplined, make small promises and keep them. If you want to be peaceful, create peaceful pockets in your day, even when life feels chaotic. Identity is shaped not by what you believe, but by what you do consistently. And those small, ordinary acts, over time, they become extraordinary. Final thoughts for Chapter 5. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not always exciting, but it's always worth it. It's how you build trust with yourself. It's how you build momentum, slowly, steadily, quietly. You don't have to change everything today. You just need to choose one thing, one ritual, one act of discipline, and commit to it. You don't need motivation to begin. You just need movement. And movement becomes momentum. Momentum becomes identity. And identity, that's how you rebuild yourself. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the mind. We'll explore how to reprogram your thoughts, challenge your beliefs, and reshape your internal dialogue. Because to rebuild your outer life, you must first rebuild the way you think. Chapter 6. Reprogram your mind. You can change your habits.
You can build better routines. But if you don't change the way you think, you'll always feel stuck. Your mind is the control center. It's the filter through which you experience everything: your past, your present, your possibilities. And here's what's wild. Most of what's running in the background, you didn't even choose. You inherited beliefs from childhood, from pain, from fear, from society. And over time, they became your truth, even if they're not the truth. This chapter is about taking that power back. Because if your mind can be programmed by pain, it can also be reprogrammed by intention. Let's dive in. Recognizing limiting beliefs and how they form. A limiting belief is a story you've told yourself so many times, it became your identity. It sounds like, "I'm not smart enough. I always mess things up. People like me don't succeed. I'm too damaged to be loved. That's just who I am." Where did these beliefs come from? Maybe from a parent who criticized more than they praised. Maybe from a teacher who doubted you. Maybe from a heartbreak that left you questioning your worth. Maybe from a moment you failed and decided that was the end of your potential. But here's the truth. A belief is just a repeated thought. It's not fact, it's not fate, it's not permanent. When you recognize your limiting beliefs, you don't have to hate yourself for them. You just have to get curious. Where did this come from? Is it even mine? Do I want to keep carrying it? The first step in reprogramming your mind is realizing you were taught how to think. Now, it's time to teach yourself something better. Techniques to challenge and reframe negative thoughts. You can't control every thought that pops into your mind, but you can control what you do with it. Here are some simple but powerful techniques to reframe those automatic negative thoughts. 1. Catch the thought. Start by noticing. That's it. When you hear yourself thinking, "I'm such a failure," pause. Say to yourself, "That's a story, not a sentence." This creates distance between you and the thought. 2. Question it. Ask, "Is this true? Is there evidence for the opposite?" Example, "I always fail." Really? Always? Or are there moments where you've succeeded, grown, adapted? The mind likes extremes, but truth usually lives in the middle. 3. Flip the frame. Reframe the negative with something empowering, even if it feels awkward at first. Instead of, "I can't do this," try, "I'm learning how to do this. I've struggled before and still made progress. I'm becoming the kind of person who figures things out." The goal isn't fake positivity. It's honest reframing. You're not lying to yourself. You're leading yourself. Visualization, affirmations, and mental conditioning. The brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. That's why visualization works. Spend 5 minutes a day visualizing the version of you you're becoming. See them in your mind. How do they walk? What do they say no to? How do they respond to challenges? Feel it. Live it in your imagination until your body believes it's possible. Pair that with affirmations, spoken truths that reshape your identity. Don't just say, "I am confident" on autopilot. Say it with intention. Say it while you move. Say it when you don't feel it, because that's when it matters most. Here are a few to start with. I am not my past. I am my potential. I trust myself to grow through this. I am worthy of peace, progress, and purpose. Every day I become more of who I'm meant to be. You may feel silly at first. That's okay. But repetition creates belief, and belief shapes behavior. This is mental conditioning. Just like training your body, you train your thoughts. You create new neural pathways. You build a mind that works with you, not against you. Aligning thoughts with the person you're becoming. Your thoughts are either building the future you or keeping you stuck in the past. If you want to evolve, your thoughts have to match your vision, not your history. So ask yourself, what does the future me think about themselves? How does the future me respond to setbacks? What stories does the future me no longer believe? Then, start practicing those thoughts now. Yes, it'll feel unfamiliar. Yes, your old mindset will resist. Yes, you'll slip back into negativity some days. But with practice, your internal world begins to shift. You stop living by default and start thinking by design. And when your thoughts align with your identity, your actions follow, your energy follows, your entire life follows. Final thoughts for Chapter 6. Reprogramming your mind is not about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about becoming the observer of your thoughts, not their prisoner. It's about choosing what beliefs get to stay and which ones are finally getting evicted. Because you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts, and that means you can think differently. You can believe differently. You can live differently. So the next time your mind tries to pull you into an old story, pause, breathe, and say, "That's not who I am anymore." You're not here to repeat the past. You're here to rebuild, starting with your mind. In the next chapter, we'll explore emotional resilience, how to stay steady when life gets heavy, how to feel your feelings without falling apart, and how to rise again, stronger, every time.
Chapter 7. Build systems, not just goals. Goals sound exciting. They look good on paper. They give us a temporary high, the feeling of this time it's going to be different. But for most people, it isn't. The problem isn't the goal. The problem is the lack of systems. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Goals give you direction. Systems give you traction. In this chapter, we're going beyond motivation. We're building a structure that holds you up even when your motivation disappears. Because real progress isn't about intense effort once in a while. It's about intentional effort every day. Why goals often fail without systems in place. Let's say your goal is to get in shape. That sounds great, but if there's no plan for how you'll move, what you'll eat, how you'll sleep, then it's just a wish. Or maybe your goal is to be more focused. Noble, but if your days are still filled with noise, distractions, no schedule, and poor boundaries, you'll keep spinning. Here's what most people do. They set a big goal. They get excited. They go hard for a week. They burn out. They feel guilty. They quit. Why? Because goals are outcomes. They don't guide behavior. But systems are processes, routines, patterns. They automate your growth. You don't need to think about how to move forward every day because your system already moves you. That's the shift from pressure to process, from I need to do more to I have a framework that supports me. Creating a lifestyle of consistent progress. Instead of asking, what's my goal? Start asking, what system will get me there even on my worst days? Want to become a writer? Don't just set a word count goal. Build a system. Write every morning at 7 a.m. for 30 minutes, non-negotiable. Want better mental clarity? Create a system. Journal every night. Meditate before checking your phone. Keep your to-do list on paper, not in your head. Systems remove decision fatigue. They give your brain a default pattern to follow, even when you're tired, overwhelmed, or unmotivated. It becomes a lifestyle, not a sprint. It becomes part of who you are, not something you force. Remember this, consistency beats intensity every single time. Using structure to support your evolution.
People resist structure because they think it limits freedom. But the truth is, the right structure creates freedom. Structure gives your energy a home. It keeps your growth on track. Think about it like this. You want your life to feel like a river, flowing, clear, powerful. But a river needs banks, structure, to guide it. Without those banks, water turns into a flood. It spills, it stagnates, it loses force. The same is true for your energy, your focus, your time. Here's how to build that structure. Time blocking. Schedule time for focus, rest, learning, and connection. Put it in your calendar. Habit stacking. Attach a new habit to an existing one, like journaling right after brushing your teeth. Environment design. Remove friction. Put your book on your pillow. Put your phone in another room. Make your environment work with you. Weekly reviews. Every Sunday, ask what worked, what didn't, what do I need to adjust. This isn't about control. It's about clarity. When you structure your life around systems that serve you, you evolve faster, smoother, and with less mental chaos. Systems that serve your focus and energy. A great system doesn't just keep you busy. It protects what matters most, your focus and your energy. Let's look at a few areas where smart systems make a difference. 1. Energy. Create energy rituals. Morning hydration, movement or stretching, sunlight within your first hour, power naps or breath work to recharge midday. Your system should generate energy, not drain it. 2. Focus. Use focus cycles like 90 minutes of deep work followed by 15 minutes of rest. Start the day with a clear top 3 list, 3 priorities only. Set boundaries with tech. Use Do Not Disturb mode. Shut down distractions. Your focus is sacred. Build systems that protect it. 3. Growth. Have a learning routine. 1 podcast, 1 chapter, or 1 note every day. Create a space, physical or digital, where ideas live and grow. Your growth doesn't need to be massive, just steady. Build systems that keep you expanding, a little bit at a time. Final thoughts for Chapter 7. Goals give you hope, but systems give you results. You don't need more motivation. You need better systems, ones that fit your life, ones that reduce friction, ones that support your focus, your energy, your vision. So today, forget about being perfect. Ask, what one system can I build to support the life I want? What can I automate, schedule, or simplify so I can show up for myself every day? Because when your life is supported by strong systems, everything feels lighter. Growth feels doable. Progress feels natural. And rebuilding yourself, well, it stops being a struggle and starts being sustainable. In the next chapter, we'll explore the art of protecting your peace, because as you grow, so will your need for boundaries, clarity, and emotional space. And you deserve to build a life that doesn't just look good, but feels good to live in. Chapter 8. Emotional fitness is real strength. When we talk about strength, most people think of willpower, grit, toughness. But here's the truth. Emotional fitness is the real strength. It's not about how much you can carry, it's about how well you recover. It's the ability to feel everything and still move forward, to fall apart and still find your way back, to be vulnerable and powerful. We've been taught that emotions make us weak, but in reality, unprocessed emotions are what weaken us. In this chapter, we're going to change that story. We'll build emotional muscles, the kind that don't just survive hard times, but grow through them. Because rebuilding yourself doesn't just mean changing your actions. It means learning how to feel without getting lost. Understanding emotional resilience. Emotional resilience isn't about staying positive all the time. It's about staying present, even when things get hard. It's knowing how to face discomfort, loss, sadness, anger, and not run. It's the ability to say, this hurts, but I can handle it. I've felt pain before, I've healed before, and I'll heal again. Think of emotional resilience like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. It's built through practice, through challenge, through moments that stretch you. Every time you face something difficult and refuse to numb it, that's a rep. Every time you sit with your feelings instead of escaping them, that's another rep. This is strength. Quiet, deep, invisible strength, but life-changing strength. How to process feelings without being overwhelmed. Let's get real. Sometimes emotions feel too big, like waves that crash over you and leave you breathless. That's normal. But here's the key. You don't have to drown in them. Feelings are meant to be felt, not feared. Here's a simple emotional processing practice. Step 1. Pause. When a strong emotion hits, anger, sadness, shame, don't react. Pause. Breathe. Ground yourself. Ask, what is this feeling really about? Step 2. Name it. Naming emotions reduces their intensity. Say it out loud or write it down. This is frustration. This is grief. This is fear of being judged. Naming gives you power. It creates space between you and the feeling. Step 3. Feel it without judgment. You're not broken for feeling deeply. Let the emotion rise. Breathe through it. Cry. Write. Scream into a pillow if you have to. Don't bottle it. Don't shame it. Just witness it. Because what you feel fully, you release fully. Step 4. Ask what it's teaching you. Every emotion carries a message. Anger might be saying, you need a boundary. Sadness might be saying, something important ended. Anxiety might be saying, you're craving control. Listen to the message, then respond, not react. Emotional routines, mental hygiene for the soul. We brush our teeth every day. We wash our bodies. We clean our homes. But what about our emotions? You need an emotional hygiene routine, something that helps you stay clear on the inside so you don't carry stress, tension, and pain longer than you need to. Here are a few practices that work. Daily journaling. Write out your thoughts and feelings without filters. Emotional check-ins. Ask yourself, what am I feeling today? Where is it sitting in my body? Movement. Emotions live in the body. Dance, walk, stretch, move the energy through. Cleansing rituals, breath work, cold showers, talking to a friend, anything that resets your nervous system. Make these part of your day, not just when things fall apart, but as maintenance. Because when your emotional tank is full, everything gets easier. Your focus, your discipline, your relationships. You feel lighter and more in control of yourself. Responding instead of reacting. One of the most powerful signs of emotional fitness, you stop reacting, you start responding. Reacting is automatic. It's triggered. It's unconscious. It's yelling back, shutting down, saying things you regret. Responding is intentional. It's calm. It's conscious. It sounds like, let me take a breath before I answer. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Can we talk later? This upset me, but I want to handle it with clarity. Responding creates space between the stimulus and your choice. And that space, that pause, is where your power lives.
Here's a truth that will change your relationships, your peace, your life. You don't have to attend every emotional fire. You don't have to prove your point in the heat of a moment. You don't have to take everything personally. You can choose peace over proving. You can choose clarity over chaos. You can choose your future self over your triggered self. That's emotional strength in real life. Final thoughts for Chapter 8. The world rewards outer strength, but you're building the kind of strength no one can see. The kind that lets you bend without breaking, feel without falling apart, speak without exploding, heal without hating yourself. That's emotional fitness, and it's one of the most powerful things you'll ever cultivate. So today, give yourself credit for showing up, for feeling, for staying soft and strong at the same time. In the next chapter, we'll talk about protecting your peace, how to set boundaries, say no with love, and design a life that feels safe, calm, and focused from the inside out. Because your peace, it's not a luxury. It's a non-negotiable. Chapter 9, Selective Connections Only. Your energy is precious. It's the fuel for your focus, your growth, your peace. But every day, it gets pulled in countless directions by people, conversations, expectations. Some connections lift you up, others drain you down. As you rebuild yourself, one of the most powerful steps you can take is learning who deserves your energy and who doesn't. This chapter is about cultivating relationships that reflect your new self, because your circle matters. Evaluating who deserves access to your energy. Not everyone should have a seat at your table. Some people are meant to stay in your past. Some deserve a polite goodbye. Some relationships need clear boundaries. Start by asking, who encourages me to be my best self? Who respects my boundaries and values? Who shows up consistently, even when it's hard? Who celebrates my growth instead of resenting it? If someone's presence leaves you feeling exhausted, insecure, or small, take notice. It's not about being ruthless. It's about being respectful of your own needs. Energy is not unlimited. You get to decide who deserves your attention and care. How to build a circle that reflects your new self. Your community is a mirror. If you want to grow, surround yourself with growth. Seek out people who inspire you to be better, challenge you to think differently, support your dreams and values. Bring positivity, not drama. Building this circle takes courage. It means reaching out to new people, letting go of old connections that no longer fit, being honest about what you need and won't tolerate. It also means becoming that person yourself, because energy attracts energy. Be the friend who listens without judgment. Be the person who shows up even when it's uncomfortable. Be the one who lifts others as you climb. Your new circle will reflect your new energy, and that will multiply your transformation. Recognizing and avoiding energy vampires. Energy vampires are those who drain your mental, emotional, or physical reserves without giving anything back. They gossip, complain, manipulate, or create chaos. You might recognize them by how you feel after interacting. Tired instead of energized, anxious instead of calm, confused instead of clear. Energy vampires don't have to be villains. Sometimes they're old friends stuck in their own struggles. Sometimes they're family members unaware of their impact. But no matter the story, protecting your energy means setting firm boundaries, limiting contact when needed, saying no without guilt. Remember, you're not responsible for fixing others. You're responsible for protecting yourself. Nurturing relationships that inspire growth. Connection is a basic human need,
But not all connection serves growth. Invest your time and heart in relationships that encourage vulnerability and honesty. Support your healing and learning. Celebrate your wins, big and small. Hold space for your authentic self. Nurture these relationships with presence. Listen deeply. Offer kindness. Share your journey. These connections become your safe harbor, your cheerleaders, your inspiration. They remind you who you are when you forget. They pull you forward when you stall. And together, you rise. Final thoughts for Chapter 9. Rebuilding yourself means rebuilding your tribe. Choose carefully. Protect your energy like the treasure it is. Let go of what no longer fits. Build bridges to those who reflect your growth, because who you walk with matters just as much as where you walk. And the next and final chapter will bring it all home. We'll reflect on the journey, celebrate your progress, and look ahead with clarity and confidence. Chapter 10. You are the project. Here's the most important truth I want you to carry with you. You are the project, not your job, not your relationships, not your possessions. You. Your growth, your healing, your life. This is your most valuable work, and it deserves your focus, your time, your love. Making yourself the priority without guilt, prioritizing yourself can feel selfish at first. Maybe you grew up hearing, "Put others first," or maybe you've spent years pouring into everyone else. But here's the truth. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you take care of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, you're not just helping you, you're helping everyone around you, because a stronger you is better for your family, your friends, your work, and your community. Let go of the guilt. You deserve this. Your growth is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Living intentionally every single day. Intentionality means choosing your actions, thoughts, and feelings, not letting them happen to you. It means starting each day with purpose and ending it with reflection. It means small decisions made consistently that build the life you want. Ask yourself every morning, what one thing can I do today that honors my growth? And every night, what did I learn? What can I release? This simple habit shifts you from autopilot to author of your story. You create a life with meaning, one choice at a time. Becoming your own role model? Who do you want to be? Strong, kind, disciplined, resilient? You don't have to wait for someone else to inspire you. You can be that person. Be the role model you needed when you were struggling. Show up for yourself with love, patience, and consistency. Celebrate your progress, even the small wins, because when you become your own hero, nothing can stop you. What rebuilding looks like in real time? Rebuilding isn't the finish line. It's a process, a daily commitment. Some days it feels effortless. Others, it feels like a battle. You'll make mistakes. You'll face setbacks. You'll want to give up. And that's okay, because every moment you choose yourself, again and again, you're rebuilding your foundation. This is your journey, your growth, your masterpiece. So lean into it. Trust the process. Celebrate the strength you're creating. Remember, the person you're becoming is worth every moment of focus, care, and intention. Final words. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Rebuilding yourself is the most powerful project you will ever undertake. It's not easy, it's not quick, but it's deeply worth it. Keep your focus on you. Keep showing up. Keep believing. Your future self is already proud. Conclusion: never stop rebuilding. You've come far. You've learned a lot. You've taken important steps toward the person you want to be. But here's the truth. This is not an end, it's a beginning. Rebuilding yourself isn't a one-time project, it's a lifestyle. A daily choice to keep showing up, to keep growing, to keep refining who you are. Embracing lifelong growth. Life will always bring challenges. There will always be new mountains to climb, new lessons to learn, and new versions of yourself to discover. That's the beauty of growth. It never stops. The more you embrace this lifelong journey, the more freedom you find. Freedom from the pressure of perfection. Freedom from comparing yourself to others. Freedom to be exactly who you are right now and who you're becoming. Growth becomes not just something you do, but who you are. Final encouragement to stay focused on you. Remember, your focus is your greatest gift. When you keep your attention on you, your needs, your dreams, your healing, you build a foundation that nothing can shake. On the hard days, remind yourself why you started. On the tired days, give yourself grace. On the confusing days, return to your rituals, your systems, your truths. You are your greatest project, your most valuable asset, and the world needs your best self. How to keep momentum even on hard days. Momentum isn't about never stumbling. It's about getting back up. Here are a few ways to keep moving forward, especially when it's tough. Break big tasks into tiny steps. Celebrate small wins. Reach out for support when you need it. Practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself like you would a friend. Remember that rest is part of progress. Every moment you choose to keep rebuilding, you're winning. Thank you for trusting this process. Thank you for choosing yourself. Keep going, keep growing, and never stop rebuilding.